Leonie Dawson refuses to be categorized. The podcast. So today, my loves, we are returning to the Business Success Series. This is number 2, and we're going to be talking about online networking and masterminding. We started our Business Success Series a few days ago. We're talking about how to work out your ideal client, and that came with a free worksheet, and my thoughts are all about that process. So go over to leoniedawson.com/biz, B-I-Z, number 1, and you will find that. And if you want the worksheet that goes with today's episode, go to leoniedawson.com/biz, B-I-Z, number 2, biz 2. So today we're going to move on to a brilliant way to market you and your business with online networking and masterminding. Oh, hello territory. This is one of my favorite things in the world. I've been a big fan of online networking and masterminding since the olden days of the internet. So you need to be aware that there are two purposes here with two very different places to fill the need. So your first aim with online networking is connecting with your target market, and the second is masterminding with business owners, and we're going to talk about both in this episode. So with networking and finding your target market online, you want to connect with your target market, people who are going to want the thing that you offer, and you need to find out where they're hanging out and hang out there too. So make sure you go over to leoniedawson.com/biz2 and download the worksheet to help you get there. Now, when you're doing this online networking, you have to be strategic with your time. Make sure you set a timer or check the clock before you go into a forum or the place where your people are hanging out. Make sure you set a goal of exactly how many people you're going to help or respond to. You need to get in there and you need to get out. Do not fritter away your time without getting results. I'm being bloody serious here. Intervention time. Like, you need to get strategic with your time and remember the sacred motto of maximum impact with minimum effort. It's not your job to be in there all day. It's your job to be in there for, the shortest period of time possible and make the maximum amount of impact that you can with that time. You also want to make sure that the people that you're networking with are your ideal client. Do they show interest in your offering? Do they have the cash to spend, or are they only looking for free stuff? Have they already made a purchase, which would mean they aren't going to purchase a similar product like yours? So I wanted to share with you some behind the scenes of how I've used online networking in my own business with success. So I've hung out in both paid and free membership sites and freedom for membership sites and forums, sure, with my target market, like where they're hanging out. And I make sure that they're people who are going to be interested in what I'm offering. So I share my story authentically, I share photos of my life, I share what I'm creating at the moment. Basically, I turn up and participate like they are friends, because they are, and I'm a part of the community. I also make sure that I answer other people's posts, and I'm supportive and encouraging and helpful, and I help with answering specific questions as much as I can. My motto when I'm in networking mode is to turn up and answer 3 people's questions or problems as brilliantly as I can. Really dig inside me to brainstorm a solution or what needs to be said. And this isn't some short-ass response either. It is long and thought out and considered. Even if it takes me like 3 minutes to write it, that is going to be so much more helpful than 100 like, yay, love heart. Like, nobody's going to fucking remember that. I also sometimes offer Q&A sessions as well. So I'll let them know or remind them what my experience is and say that I can answer questions on certain topics for the next hour if anyone needs help. And I've filled 3 retreats in the space of just a couple of days just from networking on one forum, and they were high-end priced retreats too. Now, let's talk about online masterminding. Marketer, mind, birder, when I can speak. So, on top of getting in front of your ideal clients, you're also going to want to connect with other business owners and mastermind together. You want to help each other brainstorm and grow each other's businesses, support each other with advice and kindness during business challenges, and learn new solutions for use in your own business. A business mastermind can be an absolute wealth of knowledge that you can access 24/7, and they are ding dang indispensable. So some things that I've discussed in masterminds I've been in, I found like accounting software that totally kicked my old software's butt. I found a grant that my company could apply for that ended up being worth tens of thousands of dollars. I got hiring and firing advice and emotional support when it was difficult, and so much sharing of like this happened to me stories which make you feel so much less alone in the world. I also learned like how to decrease refund requests, how to firm up legal policies and boundaries in business, advice on which live conferences that are great to go to and which one totally suck balls. Cough, cough, Gary Vaynerchuk. Launch strategies at work. I've also learned like referrals for who are great contractors to work with, like virtual assistants, coaches, graphic designers, website coders, accountants, lawyers, grant application officers. The list goes on. So, like, are you starting to gather how crazy useful and prosperous like being a part of a good mastermind is, and how much money it can make you and save you, and how much like craziness it can save you from as well? So, in terms of finding your own mastermind, you can find an existing free mastermind. There are an increasing number of mastermind groups that you can find for free online, and they're usually large and available for anyone to read. And they can be helpful for dipping your foot in the mastermind water or getting the answer to that one question you have. However, you may not necessarily find that the response rate to questions is fantastic, or that you can easily form connections, or that you feel safe enough to discuss business issues in a super public way. And free masterminds can sometimes be a bit of a pitch-a-thon where everyone's trying to sell the thing. There are plenty springing up as social media groups, as well as on old school and private forums as well. You can also ask to be invited into one if you know of one. If you know of someone in a free private mastermind, you can ask if you can score an invite. You may not get a yes, but it's always worth a try. And you can also find a paid membership mastermind. This is where I started out doing online masterminds. I've done all kinds now though. I joined a paid membership mastermind about 5 years ago, and I think it was about $400 for the year. And at the time, that seemed like a huge investment for me and my business, but it was definitely a massive turning point for my business, and I learned so much from hanging out with other business owners. I challenged myself to try and brainstorm with and answer at least 3 questions a day, not because I always found it easy to come up with the answers and not because I was an expert, but because I wanted to help other business owners and try and see if I could like stretch my brain to come up with a possible solution and really grow my business muscles through practice. And although I'm no longer in that mastermind, like so many years on, I still have dear friends and contractors and clients and referrals that I met through there. I still get so many people who say, "Oh, I know you from that mastermind." And I've regularly invested in other online masterminds up to $7,500 a year just to be around business owners who have the same level of business success or me or more. Because learning from people who know more than you is the only way to grow. You can also absolutely create one of your own. I've been part of free private masterminds over the years as well. They are usually people I've met through paid masterminds or heard about through other online business friends. They tend to be smaller, like 15 people or under, than other masterminds, and they're usually not advertised in any way, and their genesis is just through existing connections. It's fairly easy to set up for a group. Like for it, you could use like group messages or a forum of some kind. It's definitely important to set up like rules and guidelines for how much people should participate, like if any promotion is allowed, what kind of confidentiality you agree to. And always make sure you get members to agree to it before joining. And sometimes these groups work amazingly. Sometimes they fall flat. Sometimes they work awesomely for a time and then end up dying a natural death. They can still be an absolutely enormous blessing. Now, in terms of how to get the most out of masterminding, you absolutely need to give more than you take. Don't be a pitchathon. Don't just show up to ask questions and never help anyone else. Don't be there just to promote your shit. It's really, really obvious and it'll score you no points and you'll lose out on the whole benefit of masterminding. When the whole ecology of a mastermind is nourished, everybody within it will thrive. You also want to make sure that you're taking note of guidelines, whether you're in a free or paid or private mastermind. Take note of any rules or guidelines that have been set up for the space. It doesn't matter if you agree with them or not. The container has been set for that space and it's up to you to turn up and behave appropriately. Also, make sure that you take the opportunity to build your brainstorming muscles. Make it a daily habit to go into your mastermind and try and help 3 other people. Spend time on your answers. You're going to learn so much from that experience. You'll learn how to empathize with people. You'll really listen to what they're saying. You can imagine yourself in that situation. You can communicate compassionately and then give whatever advice or guidance or support that you can offer up to help them through it. And they will always remember what you do for them. And you will be deeply changed in the most wonderful ways from the act of helping others. So help other people with the best of yourself, and they'll be able to help you with the best of themselves when you need it. So again, I wanted to share with you some of the miraculous results of good online networking and masterminding. So I still have fans, readers, students, and friends from a message board that I was on in, wait for it, 2002. 2002. These are the people who were the first people who bought from me when I started my business, were my first blog readers, and they are still around 20 years on. In 2008, I was in a mastermind that created various business benefits. I ended up launching a course with a mastermind partner that brought in tens of thousands of dollars. I found a mentor who I went on to work with for 10 years and had many of the mastermind members become long-time students or joint venture partners. In 2012, I filled 3 private coaching retreats, over $40,000 in revenue from one forum, and I've brought in hundreds of thousands of dollars more from ideas I've had because of masterminds. Networking and masterminding can bring absolutely huge miracles as long as you are intentional with how you spend your time, you don't let it swallow up your day, and you provide real value to other humans. Now make sure you go over to leoniedawson.com/biz2 for the companion worksheet to help you work out where your ideal target market is hanging out and how you can help them. I so hope this is useful. Please do share it along with any business buddies who might need this. And just a reminder that we are in the final days of enrollments for Marketing Without Social Media. It starts on 1st of July. Go to leoniedawson.com/marketing to go on this big, beautiful Marketing Without Social Media adventure. Fun and prosperity and productivity and inner peace and all that stuff. Gosh, it's going to be amazing. All right, that's all. Okay, I love you. Bye. Have to do this. Bye.